Are y'all still trying to recover from an exciting night last night when the Chicago Bulls pulled off the victory versus the Los Angeles Lakers? I probably dreamt about it. I don't even know. But on today's episode, we got to talk about the Chicago Bulls playoff push getting a lot more interesting as we get ready and go down the stretch before the season ends. Y'all know we're going to talk about it and break it down. But you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you tuning in today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. We emphasize and we put emphasis on hitting that notification bell as well, simply because if you missed a live call, you missed one for the ages last night. C-Dub, myself, Steve-O, Big Kev with the late pop in. We was just like, come on, Bulls, what we doing? And then the Chicago Bulls came up clutch in the fourth quarter versus the Los Angeles Lakers to sweep them for the season series. And then you see the Chicago Bulls, Josh Giddey hits the post for the half court game winner, giving the Chicago Bulls a 119-117 victory over the Los Angeles Lakers. And this game right here is one we ain't seen in a long time from the Chicago Bulls, at least from my evaluation. One that ended like this, to where the team didn't just they did not give up. They kept fighting hard. They went out there and they took care of business, and they needed a miracle in the UC. Before the game even started, we was talking about the Chicago Bulls and giving the fans something to cheer for. And when I seen one of the Patreons, the guys that was just watching the game running up the sideline because the Bulls was making some of the best plays we've seen them make in a long time, obviously some of those was lucky. But you don't get that opportunity if you simply fold like lawn chairs. They kept fighting and they prevailed at the end of the day. Josh Giddey, after damn near getting a quadruple double in LA, came back and put up a triple double last night versus the Los Angeles Lakers, giving the Bulls 25 points, 11 assists, and 14 rebounds. And the best 3 points of the game came to win the game. And then Kobe White continuing his outstanding play, 26 points, 9 assists. And P. Willie, hold on, P. Willie with good defense and a clutch three. P. Willie, Mr. Flower Power, Peppermint Patty, as my man's Nas call him. Oh my goodness. That was some good, exciting basketball in the fourth quarter. Because we was like, ref, what we doing, big dog? What we doing? But at the end of the day, you love to see this young Chicago Bulls team play like this. And it is not the same thing that we've seen earlier in the season or the past 3 seasons with that iteration of the Chicago Bulls. These young guys are hungry. They're playing with chips on their shoulders. And Montes Buzelis said, hey, look out. The Bulls are back. Hold on. We ain't back yet. I got to take this one game at a time. I do. But I know, guys, it's definitely a good feeling when you see your team go out there and play extremely hard. They never folded. They continue to make good basketball plays. They take care of the basketball. They play good, sound team defense, good, sound team offense when the game could have been lost when the Chicago Bulls went down by like 17, 18 points. But they kept fighting. And they kept fighting, and they kept fighting, and they eventually get one of the games to go their way. And the Chicago Bulls, man, they have been playing some clutch basketball. And it's kind of crazy because the Chicago Bulls over the last few seasons, we lean heavily on DeMar DeRozan, you know what I'm saying, a seasoned veteran, an all-star, all-NBA caliber type player. And we had to lean on him heavily. And even in those moments, you didn't see the Chicago Bulls get set up on the offensive side, like we've seen the Chicago Bulls get set up these on this nice little run that they're on right now. And you didn't even see some of the good defensive plays that these guys have been creating in some of those moments as well. It was a lot of, hey, move out the way, DeMar DeRozan, get to your spot, hit the tough basket, hope you don't land on somebody's foot while you're coming down from your jump shot. And if you do, we're going to get that and one. It wasn't none of that. It was guys involved. It was multiple guys being involved on the defensive end, multiple guys being involved on the offensive side. And that's something that we got to take notice for and show a lot of love to for the Chicago Bulls playing clutch basketball, man. Last night in the fourth quarter, the Chicago Bulls scored 44 points versus the Denver Nuggets, 34 points versus the Los Angeles Lakers. A few, you know what I'm saying, that last game, 42 points. Let's just talk about the point differential. Plus 18 last night, plus 10 versus Denver, plus 16 versus the Los Angeles Lakers again, plus 9 versus the Sacramento Kings, plus 9. It wasn't a loss versus the Phoenix Suns, but these guys have been putting up numbers in the fourth quarter when the game really, in most cases, can be decided, especially for a young team. And a lot of the times you see young teams go out there and they don't necessarily know what to do. But early on in the season, me and C-Dub talked about all these players coming in, and we talking about a lot of these guys being 25 and younger. And we had a discussion like, yes, these are young guys, but they already have NBA experience. And I think that is what is helping these guys succeed right now. You talk about Kobe White, who's been in play-in situations and going down the stretches of seasons, especially the last few seasons with the Chicago Bulls, and understanding how meaningful basketball is at this point of the season. You talk about Josh Giddey, who's now come over and changed a lot of our minds, including my mind, because initially I did not like the trade, but I did say, hey, let's give Josh Giddey a chance because he's going to fill up the box score. But I did not imagine seeing this type of Josh Giddey being sound on the defensive side, which was one of my concerns with him. And then on the offensive side, taking care of the basketball, setting things up nicely. Now, you did miss that floater. You did miss that floater. I was upset when you airballed a floater. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, it is LeBron James was right there trying to defend, so I kind of understand it. But I was like, ain't no way you couldn't hit iron. You couldn't iron out the wrinkle, big dog. But it don't even matter because Josh Giddey hit the most important bucket of the night. So you got to look at the Chicago Bulls and them just simply taking care of the basketball. You talk about three-point shooting and them being able to keep themselves in the game. Last night, 11 of 14 from three in the fourth quarter, guys. 6 of 11 in the fourth quarter versus the Denver Nuggets. The last time we seen the Los Angeles Lakers, 6 of 9 from the three in the fourth quarter. 5 of 9 in the fourth quarter versus the Sacramento Kings. 5 of 10 in a loss versus the Phoenix Suns. Like, bro, these guys, these last few games have been playing tremendously as a team. And you got to show love to the head coach. You got to show love to the young players for constantly taking bites at the apple and just keep punching. It don't matter if dude hits you with that one and you kind of stumble a little bit. It's about how you recover and how you going to go ahead and work that jab before you hit him with that right hook to knock him down. Or if you're going to come up with it, if you're going to come up with it with that uppercut and knock them down. And the Chicago Bulls last night in the fourth quarter, man, 79% from the field, 78% from the three, guys. 13 assists, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 turnovers. A little high on the turnovers, but hey, nobody's complaining about turnovers when you go ahead and win this basketball in this fashion, especially within the last 6 seconds. In the last 6 seconds, it was just crazy. The last 26 seconds of that basketball game last night was crazy. It was just crazy. It was just crazy. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Just a real quick off topic. Hey, Stephen A, you finna throw shots? Say, bruh, I'm just interested. It's funny to me. But on back onto the Chicago Bulls, man. These young players are playing some outstanding basketball and especially stepping up for the sake of just stepping up and trying to get a win. Now, with all those things considered, the playoff push just got a little bit more interesting, y'all. The Chicago Bulls in their last 11 games are now 9-2, man. And yesterday's win versus the Los Angeles Lakers at the buzzer now puts the Chicago Bulls a game and a half behind the 8th seed which is currently held by the Orlando Magic. That's how things are just now getting a little bit more interesting, man. It's getting a lot more interesting going down this, going down this stretch. And like I've been saying, we got to take this thing one game at a time. We cannot think forward. We can't think about 2 games away, 3 games away, or 4 games away, or look at somebody else and think about what they're doing. We can't worry about the Orlando Magic and what they're doing. We can't look at the Atlanta Hawks and think about what they're doing. But we need to focus on us. If we focus on us, come out there and play sound, good basketball, the Chicago Bulls will give them an opportunity to move up and potentially be in a great position. I said just a couple weeks ago, the sweet spot for the Chicago Bulls is the 8th seed. Go out there and try to capture that 8th seed. If you can capture that 8th seed, you give yourself a great opportunity to make the playoffs. And it's going to be some guys that say, I don't want to see the Bulls versus the Cavaliers. Shit, I do. I don't know about you. I don't duck smoke. I do. Because though I do believe that the Chicago Bulls would not win the series versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are going to give the Cleveland Cavaliers everything they can handle. Everything they can handle. And I got the Chicago Bulls at least winning 1 or 2 games. I ain't going to lie to you. They going to give the Cleveland Cavaliers everything they can handle. They are running. They are playing good team basketball. And guess what they got an advantage of over the Cleveland Cavaliers? Size in the guards, size within their guards. We talking about Josh Giddey. We talking about Kobe White. We talking about potentially having a Trey Jones return who probably size up with closer to those guards over there. But Dalen Terry when Dalen Terry got inserted in that Los Angeles Lakers game near the back end of that third quarter, he made a difference. He's going to be able to make a difference on the defensive side and how he's going to be able to push the pace a little bit when he comes in and help the Cavaliers. But again, let's not get ahead of our skis. Let's just focus on what we need to focus on right now. But that 1.5 game, out of that 8th seed, it's feeling like a reality. But it's not up to me. It's not up to my guy Drip. It's not up to my guy Steve-O, Kev, or C-Dub. It's up to the Chicago Bulls to go out there and play sound, good basketball to finish off the season. If you have aspirations to moving up to 7th, you got to hoop. If you got aspirations to make it to the playoffs, you got to hoop. The playoff push is getting more and more interesting because if we look at the Chicago Bulls' next 5 games, you got opportunity to go out there and potentially be 4-1. I think there's a lot of potential there. The next 5 matchups for the Chicago Bulls is the Dallas Mavs, OKC, the Toronto Raptors, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Charlotte Hornets. Those are some good games to gauge your team, and the Chicago Bulls have to take care of business if they want to give themselves a greater shot. When we compare that to the team that the Chicago Bulls are right behind in the Orlando Magic, they face the Sacramento Kings, who probably struggling a little bit, more than a little bit, you know what I'm saying? The Clippers, San Antonio, Washington, and Atlanta. So those, if you breaking down both teams' schedule for the next 5 games, you probably say the Bulls might have it a little bit easier. But at this point of the season, you can't take nothing for granted. Let's call it how we see it. We cannot take nothing for granted. You cannot come in any of these games and let your foot off the gas. When you match up against Dallas, we got to be ready to play. When you face the number 1 seed in the Western Conference and Josh Giddey with the, let's see it. I'm interested in that game at this point of the season. You got to take care of business. Whether how you feel about the Toronto Raptors, the Portland Trail Blazers, or the Charlotte Hornets, you have to take care of business. You got to. Foot on the gas. Foot on the gas, and nothing is guaranteed in this league. And if the Chicago Bulls lose focus, hey, they'll be in the play-in, but you might not hit that sweet spot. The sweet spot is the 8th seed. The sweet spot is the 8th seed. You know what I'm saying? And things are getting smashed up a little bit between the 8th, 9th, and the 7th, 8th, and 9th seeds, between the Hawks, the Magic, and the Bulls. It's getting a little smashed up, but you got to worry about yourself, man. You have to worry about yourself, especially because you got an opportunity to take hold of a higher seed. And if you take care of a higher seed within that 7 and 8, you give yourself 2 opportunities to get into the playoffs. If you land in the 9th seed, you still get 2 opportunities, but it becomes a lot more harder It becomes a lot more harder for the Chicago Bulls to get it done. That's why I'm going with the AFC is the sweet spot for the Chicago Bulls. This playoff stuff is getting more hype. I can't tell you probably the last time I felt this much excitement by watching the Chicago Bulls in a stretch was probably those first 35 games with Lonzo Ball on the team. That team wasn't necessarily perfect, but they were winning games and doing things. And we was like, oh my goodness. And I think that's when DeMar DeRozan, I think that's the year that DeMar DeRozan hit the game winner on New Year's Eve and then went to hit the game winner on New Year's Day. Y'all fact check me on that. I think that was a part of that 35 games when we had Lonzo, Caruso, DeMar, Zach, and Vooch right there. Correct me down below. I think that's when we had that. But I say all that to say, Chicago Bulls, take care of your business. Don't focus on nobody else. Don't focus on nobody else. Take care of your business. The next team, that's it. The next matchup is versus the Dallas Mavericks on Saturday. Focus on them. Win or lose, you got to move on. Wash that all off of you and move on to OKC. But let's focus on one game at a time and live in the moment. Because if you start getting ahead of yourself, you start not focusing on what you're supposed to take care of in these basketball games. But I'm excited to see this. I'm hoping that the Chicago Bulls can go out there and make some more noise and continue to gather some eyes. But it's not up to me. It is absolutely up to them. But that is it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. Before you leave up out of here, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get them live calls in, bussing, and be able to attend and listen to some of these daily episodes, turn your notification bell on, man. Because y'all missed the epic live call last night. You missed the epic live call last night. So hit that bell. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you always see red. And y'all already know we going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.